What's going on, everybody? Jeff here with Burm Donor Pythons. I was going to do a video today, update on some of the eggs that we had laid here, but unfortunately, or fortunately, I walked into the room and there is a female ivory granite laying a clutch of eggs. So I was not expecting her to lay until this weekend or early next week, but it happened and I'm absolutely excited about it. So instead of being in the snake room and making a bunch of commotion, I'm gonna stay out of there. I'm gonna let her lay her clutch and I'm gonna show you how I set up my egg boxes. So to do that, I use these, now for Burm clutches, these are bigger containers, but these are 37 quart Sterilite weather sealed tubs. They have a foam gasket in them. And I don't know if you can see it from there, but I write the day they were laid, the day they should hatch, and then the pairing here on the top of the lid. So we'll need that. I'll show you what we're going to put in that. We use perlite. You can pick this up at a Lowe's, a Home Depot, or like a nursery, like a gardening place. Make sure it's like fully organic and it don't have no like additives or anything. So we got our perlite and our vermiculite. Some people use one, some people use the other. I like to mix them about half and half, or a little heavy on the perlite, maybe like, I don't know, 60-40, something like that. But I will show you how you add that and how much water to add to that. And then this year is the first year I'm using them. I was recommended to use them. These are, in the store, it'll be called light diffusers, or some people call it egg crate. The eggs will actually suspend on this to stay out of the substrate. The substrate is strictly to hold the humidity. Then you don't have to worry about your eggs getting too wet. I've never had a problem putting them right in the substrate, but I thought I'd give this a try this year and see how I like it, just for extra security. And I'll show you what it all looks like when it's done and how much I add, walk you guys through it. So anyway, let's get to it. Take a quick peek just for video's sake. I'm gonna try not to disturb this room too much. But this is the girl. She's actually hiding under her paper, so I'll try to get a ivory granite laying eggs as we speak. I am not gonna mess with them. We will get back to making egg boxes. All right, now that I have this cut to size to fit down in the egg box, this egg crate here, or light diffuser, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to show you how I mix the perlite, vermiculite, and water. All right, don't freak out. I have a mask on, not because I'm afraid of COVID or anything like that, but this stuff is extremely dusty, and I forgot about that this year. So the first time I mixed up a few egg boxes, I was coughing and carrying on around the house and all that good stuff. So wear a dust mask or something. If it doesn't bother you, good for you, but last time it got the best of me, so I have a mask on this time. Yeah, so I don't really have a rhyme or a reason, or I don't weigh anything out. There are videos out there where people recommend this ratio to that ratio. As long as you have a nice damp substrate. I'll show you before I dump a bunch of water in what it should look like if you don't use the egg crate. So I start off with the perlite here. Get a nice layer of that. Try not to make a mess here. I don't know if you guys can tell how dusty it is, but it's very, very dusty. And then I take my vermiculite. Just like that. And you want a good, you know, inch to 2 inches, however deep you want to make it. These are shallower egg boxes, so I can't go too deep with the substrate, just as long as there's enough in there. Then you just kind of mix it around like so. That's looking pretty good. I've done this quite a few times, so I kind of can eyeball it. Make sure it's nice and even and flat and covers the whole surface. I don't know if you can tell how dusty it is, but even with the mask on, it's pretty dusty. So, I might add a little more perlite. Alright, let me show you what that looks like without the water. So this is the consistency or the mixture you're kind of looking for. I like to use the perlite. The vermiculite is almost like a filler. It does help. I used to only use just vermiculite, but you can tell I got a nice layer there. It's about an inch, inch and a half, and that's all I do for that stuff there. All right, for now, for the water now, this stuff is very absorbent, so it's going to take more water than what you think, but you don't want too much water, especially if you're not using the light diffuser. So I usually just start with a gallon here, spread it around evenly. It's about a half a gallon, and then you want to take your hands, and this is where it gets messy and fun. Mix that around, and you will soak up most of that water with your substrate mixture here. It is extremely, extremely dusty. What's nice about the water, it takes the dust down. So if I were to not be using the light diffusers, I'll show you what you want here, the consistency. A little more water. You really want to mix that around. So the rule of thumb, or kind of what people gauge it off of, and if you do get it too soupy, you can always just add a little more vermiculite or perlite. So the rule of thumb is, if you're not using the light diffuser and you're putting the egg right in this substrate, you want it to clump together like so. But see how you can wring some water out of it? You don't want it to wring water out. You want it to clump together and not wring water out. So I'm a little heavy on water right here, but that's okay because I'm gonna be using the light diffusers. But if you are not, like I said, you want this to be clumping together with no water. But I'm gonna be using the light diffuser, so I'm actually might add a little more water. And the eggs are not touching this, so they will not get saturated. Spread it out evenly, make a good mess. That'll be plenty. So again, mix that in nice and thorough. Get the corners. You want this nice wet substrate to be all over the place. You don't want any dry spots. Yeah, see, I have it nice and kind of soupy on the bottom. The key is humidity, heat and humidity. You want what I like to do is have my heat between 87.5 and 89 degrees. If they're anywhere in there is the sweet spot. Any cooler is bad, any warmer is even worse. So some people might say, you know, different, but this is what works for me. Again, I'm just here to help you guys. So okay, I have that mixture up there all mixed up. I'm gonna wipe my hands off quick and show you what the finished product looks like. All right, so there you have it. That is the light diffuser sitting on top of your substrate, and it would look like that if you did not have this light diffuser on. But I put extra water in here so these egg boxes stay nice and humid. So I'm suspending the eggs on top of the light diffuser this year. It's the first time I'm doing it. I've had some eggs dry out on me before and really dimple really early. So I wanted that extra humidity, and to keep the eggs out of that soaking wet bedding, this is how you do it. I'm gonna show you one more little trick or tip that I have here. So if you're new to breeding reptiles, or you've been around, or what have you, I know at least for me, there's been a lot of debate on whether to completely seal these boxes or have a hole or whatever. I like to have a little bit of air exchange. So I run one small hole right in the center of the lid on my bin. If I notice that the bin is not building condensation, which rarely happens, but if I notice that there's humidity escaping, I will cover that hole with just a piece of painter's tape or something, or if I have to, I'll add more water, but I made this extra wet so I won't have to. But I'm gonna drill a hole. This is a brand new bin right in the center of here, and it just lets the gases and the extra whatever, fresh air in, old air out. I just feel more positive and more confident in having one little center hole. I can kind of open it and close it to control the humidity. So you just take your drill, and I never really got an answer from anybody like what they do or how they do it, but over the past 5-6 years, this is what I decided to start doing, and it seemed to work out for me. So just one little center hole. So there you have it. That is a completed egg box. Again, these are Sterilite containers with the weather stripping on the inside. I use that because a lot of people, to hold humidity, will put cling wrap or some kind of wrap over top underneath the lids. With these, you don't, and they're clear. You can see your eggs in there. By far the best bins that I've been using. I've been using them for about 3 years now. So that is airtight, minus my little hole here to let the gases out, kind of give you a little air exchange. You got your substrate in there, your egg diffuser if you decide to use one. Always label your bin so you can keep an eye on the dates. What was the pairing, which I'm very excited for that pairing. Ivory granite to an albino pied male. So yeah, I'm gonna go stick this in the incubator, and when this girl's done laying, I will put the eggs in, and I'm actually gonna show you how I pull the eggs, how I get them to stay in there and keep them from rolling around on the egg crate. Yeah, and we'll go from there. All right, everyone, it's the next morning. I got up at 3:30, 4 a.m. to check her. She was still laying. She's all coiled now. I'll show you here what she looks like. And that's her incubating those eggs. Don't look like a huge clutch, but they're definitely there. There's two that would kick to the side, so we'll candle them. I'll show you what that looks like. But I'm gonna work on getting this girl off these eggs. All right, so that actually went really well. Normally it doesn't go that well, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 with the 2 she kicked out. So I'm gonna get these in an eggs box quick, and I wanna get these into the incubator as fast as possible. All right, so these eggs are pretty stuck together. I got 5 of them off the top of the pile. It's low enough now that I think that I can just set it right in the egg box, and I'll show you why I'm doing that way. That's beautiful. All right, so there you have it. There's the ivory granite clutch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 25. I think there's 24, 25, 26 there. All beautiful white, no slugs. Totally pumped. Freaking awesome, guys. This is exactly why I do what I do. I'm gonna get those in the incubator. As always, thank you guys for following along. It was a long night getting up, checking on her. I'm kind of psycho snake dad when it comes to it, but make sure to subscribe, like, follow, hit the notification bell. Follow me on Instagram at _BurmDonor. Lots of cool stuff happening this year. As always, please go support USARK so myself and people like you and whatever you keep, friends that keep reptiles and all kinds of animals, that's huge. Go follow USARK. Like I said, I'm tired. It was a long night. It's going to be an even longer day. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm Jeff with Burm Donor Pythons. Burm on, everyone.